Aaron Judge with his second home run of the season, now .259 in his career, trailing Derek Jeter by 1 for 9th on the Yankees all-time list. His 7 home runs in the last 11 games against the Jays. That's happened really only in the last less than a year. And then 4 career home runs against Kevin Gausman. That's tied for the most against any pitcher. Here he is with Meredith Marakovitz in the media, breaking down the Yankees' strong start.
Aaron, what does it do for this team when you guys jump out to an early lead like you did in the first inning?
Oh, it's big time, especially like a team like Toronto. You know, such a great lineup, great pitching staff, and anytime you get an early lead and, you know, kind of help Clark settle in and let the offense settle in, you know, good things are going to happen.
What do you like most about hitting behind Juan Soto?
You know, I think, you know, I'm going to see about 7-8 pitches. You know, he's going to work the count. He's going to put some pressure on the pitcher and, you know, kind of show me what their game plan is, you know, for the night. So, you know, getting a chance to sit behind him and just watch him do his thing, and I can go in there and kind of fine-tune my approach before I walk in always helps out.
What do you think of the night that Giancarlo had and been a little slow start to the season, but 3 for 3 tonight with the home run?
He looked great. He looked great. Like you said, it's still pretty early in the season. You know, everyone's just still getting rolling, but, you know, see him go out there and, you know, put 3 hits out there, you know, put a little exclamation point in the first inning with another homer. That was big time for us to kind of get us going.
They were checking that one to make sure there was no fan interference there on his home run. It seemed like you were talking to him a lot there, and that encouraged him to stand next to you in the dugout. Just what was that conversation like? What were you guys talking about?
We were just chit-chatting. You know, nothing too special there. Just I've seen him hit a lot of balls out to right, man. I told him to hit it a little farther, man, so we don't have to do this review.
A lot of buzz around the start you guys are off to. How good did it feel just to actually get the first win at home in front of your crowd?
Oh, it was good. The energy today was amazing. You know, fans were, you know, jumping from the beginning. So it was awesome to get that win from tonight, and I'm looking forward to, you know, trying to do it again tomorrow.
Were you taken aback with how loud they were early? Because it seemed like they were really into it.
Yeah, that was impressive. You know, but we gave them a reason to cheer, you know, early on. So that always helps and always gets the fans going.
Well, the Yankees tried making 2-3 against the Blue Jays on Sunday afternoon in the Bronx. Your pitching matchup brought to you by Nissan, and it's going to be Bowden Francis. First time he'll ever face the Yankees. He gave up 7 runs to the Astros in his first start against Luis Gil. He pitched and got a no decision against Arizona, but Flash only gave up 1 hit and 1 run. It was a pretty solid outing.
Yeah, this is going to be exciting to see where this is going to go for Gil. I mean, the first outing, you know, after coming back from Tommy John surgery, so you have to figure there was a lot of nerves, maybe excitement for him. Now he got that out of the way, and you look forward to his second start of the year tomorrow. What really jumped out to me was the fastball and the life and the velocity and all of that, but threw his changeup 20% of the time in his last outing. That's his 3rd pitch that he's working on, Jack. If that comes along for the ride, the Yankees really might have something special here.
Very poised, very composed on the mound as well. Fell 1 out shy of getting his 2nd career win, so he will try to do that on Sunday. And I look at the 2, 3, 4 batters in the Diamondbacks lineup. It was Carroll, Gurriel, and Walker. They went 0 for 7 with 4 strikeouts against Gil and didn't have a ball leave the infield. So it showed you the dominance that he has with the 3 pitches that he throws, fastball, slider, and change. And the Yankees need him to build on this because they need that rotation to be steady. They've used their bullpen a lot already.
Yeah, Schmidt making his 2nd start of the season. Last time out against Houston. Pitched into the 6th, allowed 7 hits and 3 runs tonight. It took him 91 pitches to pitch into the 5th. He gave up 6 hits and 2 runs allowed, also struck out 4 but walked 3. Here is Clark Schmidt breaking down his outing.
Clark, certainly chilly in the Bronx tonight. How difficult was it to grip the ball and get a good feel?
Yeah, I think elements definitely played a factor. I think early on in the game it was a little bit easier, and then the wind kind of picked up later in the game. Hands got a little more dry, and you definitely were feeling it for sure. But you know, I felt like we made some good adjustments, and obviously got to make a little bit more adjustments. You know, when you're battling elements like that. But happy to get through it, get through a win, and you know, it was a good game for us all around.
Is there a pitch that it affected most, or a grip that it affected most?
I would say the sinker. You know, I was just missing with the the walks were very competitive, so I was happy with that. Obviously, would like to have a pitch back here or there, but to have competitive pitches and not just, you know, spraying the ball around is definitely a plus. But definitely hard on the sinker for sure.
They made you work. How were you able to make some pitches and really minimize damage when you needed to?
Yeah. I think just staying competitive, staying locked in, staying within myself. Obviously, they have a history of having a really good lineup, and have some hitters who have been in the big leagues for a long time and have a lot of experience and know what they're doing out there. So just continuing to stay within myself and compete and not kind of give in those ABs. And there was a few times where there was a good bit of traffic, and to especially after us having big innings, to keep them off the board and minimizing it to maybe 1 run or no runs was definitely big.
What was it like to get out of it the way you did in the first inning and then watch what the offense did at the bottom of the first?
Yeah, that's big. I think, if you go out there and they punch you in the jaw a little bit and you give you a run or 2 runs, I think it's a different game. So for me to be able to put up a 0 right there was big, especially at the top of the lineup with some talented hitters, and being able to get the strikeout with Bichette was obviously set me up it put me in a good spot. And then our lineup doing their thing. So I think it's gonna be a fun year for our lineup. The top to bottom, we got guys who are competitive. We have a lot of depth, and so it's just our job to put up some zeros. So it's gonna be good.
Well, it was good that the Yankees offense banged out 9 runs on 12 hits. They needed every one of those, as Meredith mentioned, because if you take a look at it, Luke Weaver came in after just 4 1/3 from Clark Schmidt, had to cover a couple innings, 47 pitches, gave up 3 runs. Victor Gonzalez kind of held things quiet for a little bit, but then Ian Hamilton charged with 3 runs as well, forcing Clay Holmes to have to come in. So 14 pitches for Clay Holmes. That's fine going into tomorrow's game, but Ian Hamilton probably burned for that one.
Yeah, I would expect Hamilton will have the afternoon off tomorrow. Holmes probably be available. Gonzalez really did a nice job of stabilizing things because it seemed like they were getting away from the Yankees a little bit. But again, I'm going to go back to this. When your starter doesn't give you length, Jack, you're using maybe 1 or 2 more relievers than you thought you would have to use in this game. That adds up. That builds up as the season moves on.
Yeah, Aaron Boone was honest about this. First and foremost, he said, listen, it's tough to win a major league game, but he admitted during the course of his press conference, when the game is going in a certain direction, you start thinking about things that you're going to be able to do, and he didn't come right out and say it, but he meant using your lower leverage guys in the bullpen to get you through this game and set you up nicely for the recap, or I shouldn't say the recap, the final game on Sunday. They don't have that set up, but you still look back and say you got the win. It's just going to make tomorrow a little more challenging, especially with a young pitcher and heel on the mound.
All right.
Aaron, clearly the results were different for Giancarlo tonight, but what, if anything, looked different about his approach in the box tonight?
I mean, he just got the head of the bat there. Again, obviously hasn't got a lot of results before tonight, but he's been in his at-bats. There's been some swing and miss in there, but there's been really competitive at bats, and again, sometimes you got to roll with that with G a little bit, and good to see him get a number of really good swings off tonight.
Do you feel like he needed a night like tonight?
We all need a night like that once in a while, but I don't know. I mean, he's so mentally tough and disciplined to what he's trying to do that I don't worry about things snowballing on it. He's just got to get comfortable and get settled in the box. And again, I feel like he's been in the fight this whole time, just hadn't gotten the results yet.
Home runs by Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, 9 runs total. Do you feel like this is just a glimpse of what this offense could be?
Well, I mean, I hope so. It was good to kind of break through there. Gosman, who's obviously really, really tough, didn't have his best stuff tonight, and on a cold night, I think it was tough for the pitchers to kind of, get into rhythm and get in that good groove. But it was good to see us, kind of pile on a little bit there early on. So, hopefully this is something that jumpstart a few guys.
Soto was kind of shaking his hand after running into the fence out there in right field. Is he okay?
He seemed all right, yeah.
Who else? Max.
Watching Giancarlo operate over the years, what do you think has allowed him to go on those, patented streaks that he has?
Well, he's Giancarlo Stanton. I mean, he's MVP, 400-something homers. Like, that's who he is. That's what he's capable of. He's I think obviously he can be streaky, but his talent allows him to, when he gets it rolling, to really, he's a carrier.
And what'd you think of Clark tonight?
Clark was good. Again, I think it was a tough night a little bit to pitch. So his pitch count kind of got away there a little bit. Had a couple of walks that, had a chance to put some guys away. At the bottom of the lineup, had some count leverage and end up losing them. Didn't give up a ton of hard contact in the hits he gave up. I think he was a little bit unlucky there, but just not quite as sharp with his command.
Brian to the right.
You had said yesterday how it was almost a great day, but a good day just because of the result in the home opener. But then to actually jump out early and get the first win at home, loud crowd, just how big of a exhale is that?
Yeah, well, especially when you run out to a big lead and you're hanging on for dear life at the end, that's an extra exhale. Those aren't the easiest games to be in when you run out to those leads, because, man, you start thinking, man, you can do some things here, and then all of a sudden it's a couple bounces go a certain way, and credit the Blue Jays, they kept scrapping and got themselves back into it with a chance. So, but no question, to be able to closing it anytime you win a major league game, it's not an easy thing, and to get the first one here at home is exhale's part of it, but also you enjoy that.
To the left, Brian.
Aaron, to go back to the first inning, Soto works a 7-pitch walk, and then Judge puts one in the seats. Is that kind of the combination with those two guys you were talking about all spring?
That's a pretty good look to it. I was watching, Soto coming at me, getting ready to score, and Judgy coming around third base, and I'm like, that's how you draw it up right there. So, our two big boys there getting us rolling right out the gate.
Dan to the right.
Aaron, you touched on it with the bullpen up 6-0 in the first and 9-2 in the seventh, and then to have to go to high leverage guys. Is that difficult to deal with? Yeah,
but it's not easy to win. So a win's a win, and sure you'd like it to go a little, but we were short some guys anyway down there. So I was going to maybe let Victor try and get that final out in the eighth there, because especially he was efficient there. But I just wanted to try and slam the door there if I could in the eighth, with Ian and Bichette coming up. So it doesn't always go according to plan, but shaking hands sure solves a lot of things.
There is a speed bump on the front. There is a speed bump on the front. a speed bump on the front.